What's up, the John Squad? You know what today's wonderful world of wrestling Wednesdays. That is right, the John Squad. So let's do this, shall we, Johnson? So we're going to start off with WWE Monday Night RAW talk first, like we always do on Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays. And then I'm going to give you the AEW Dynasty results from this past Sunday. So let's do this, shall we, John Squad? So here we go. So RAW kicks off with Gunther arriving into the building. That's how we kicked off Raw with. Then we had Adam Pearce holds a contract signed between Io Sky and Bianca Belair for their Women's World Title match at WrestleMania 41. Adam Pearce brings Rhea Ripley to the ring and says that he has decided to add her to the match after the double DQ last week, and it will now be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley get into an argument, and Io Sky takes advantage and takes out both of them with a springboard dropkick. Lyra Valkyrie beats Bayley to retain the Women's Intercontinental title. AJ Styles vs. Karrion Kross is announced for next week when they had a conversation backstage. Luigi Casser met with Kathy Kelly on top of the stage, in the crowd, and Luigi Casser is upset that he is not on the WrestleMania 41 card and promises there will be consequences. Wonder what that could mean. I don't know. But El Grande Americano and the Creed Brothers beat the LWA in a match. Liv Morgan and Rodriguez says it doesn't matter who their challengers are at WrestleMania for the women's tag team titles because they will win and leave Las Vegas still as champions. Then Gunther comes out and celebrates taking out Jimmy Uso last week in the ring. And main event Jey Uso makes his way to the ring. Jey Uso says that he had to talk to their mom and tell her that Jimmy Uso had to get 15 stitches from the attack. Says that he was afraid and felt helpless as he was tied to the ropes and couldn't help Jimmy. Jey Uso says that he is no longer afraid and tells Gunther to hug his wife and his child before WrestleMania and that he is going to do a prayer for Gunther and what will happen to him in their match. Jey Uso then says that he will get Gunther at WrestleMania for Jimmy Uso and the rest of his family and will leave Las Vegas as a new World Heavyweight Champion. Awesome promo by Jey, I gotta admit that. Adam Pearce announces Rey Mysterio vs. El Grande Americano for WrestleMania 41. The New Day beat the Warriors by DQ after Ivar accidentally hits Xavier Woods with a steel chair. After the match, the New Day beat down Ivar and Eric. Adi Shankar was at Monday Night Raw, which was pretty funny. Penta beats Dirty Dom in a match. After the match is over, Dirty Dom and Carlito attack him. Braun Breaker makes his way to the ring and takes out all three of them with spears. Then Balor comes out and takes out Braun Breaker, which that spear on Carlito, let me tell you, man, that spear on Carlito was just, I felt bad for Carlito. Like, he just boom right into him, and Carlito was dead. I gotta admit, that was just something like there. That spear on Carlito was just, oof. Okay, on to the next one. So now, announced for next week's Raw. Roman Reigns will be live. The Creed Brothers versus the LWO. AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. Then the main event we had on Raw was a Paul Heyman segment with Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman says that he will always be loyal to both Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and just because he's loyal to both of them does not mean he will ever be disloyal to either of them. Seth Rollins comes out and interrupts and claims that Roman doesn't respect him and left him to be fed to Solo Sikoa and the rest of the bloodline after he lost the Undisputed WWE title at last year's WrestleMania. Seth Rollins says that CM Punk also doesn't care about him because he left him and that CM Punk wasn't the first choice to join Team Roman at War Games and only joined because he could get a favor out of Paul in exchange. Seth Rollins says that he feels sorry for Paul Heyman and wants Paul Heyman to remove himself from being at ringside for their match. Seth Rollins says if Paul doesn't remove himself, he has no problem doing it for him and starts slapping him and pushing him. Since CM Punk attempts to make the save and they get into a brawl, Seth takes out Punk with a curb stomp and goes for another curb stomp on Paul but decides not to. Seth tells Paul Heyman that he owes him a favor. And that's how the Monday Night Raw ended with Seth Rollins standing tall. So now we're going to get into AEW Dynasty. I'm going to give you the AEW Dynasty results from this past Sunday on pay-per-view. So we had two pre-show matches, right? We had two pre-show matches. We had a trios match. We had Nick Wayne and CRU, Action Andre and Leo Rush with Kit Sabian and Mother Wayne defeated Air Fox and Top Flight, Dante Martin, Darius Martin with Layla Gray by pinfall. Then we had a single match. We had Max Caster's open challenge, and then it was Anthony Bowens who answered. So we had Anthony Bowens with Billy Gunn defeated Max Caster by pinfall. Then the first match we had on AEW Dynasty was a men's Owen Hart Cup tournament quarterfinal match. We had was Will Ospreay defeated Kevin Knight by pinfall. Then we had a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. We have the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with MVP defeated the Learn Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keith by pinfall. Then we had a women's Owen Hart Cup tournament quarterfinal match. We have Mercedes Moon defeated Julia Hart by pinfall. Then we had a trios match for the AEW World Trios Championship. We have Death Riders, Claudia Gasolani, Pac, and Wheeler Utah defeated Raid FTR, Cope, Cashwell, and Dax Harwood by pinfall. And then after the match was over, Cope got turned on by Raid FTR, and Cashwell and Dax Harwood started to beat up on Cope and took him out with the chair choke. So now we also had a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. We had Thomas Tony Storm, Whit Luther defeated Megan Bain with Penelope Ford by pinfall. Then we had a men's Owen Hart Cup tournament quarterfinal match. We had Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis defeated Mark Briscoe by pinfall. Then a title versus mask match for the ROH World Championship. Chris Jericho with the title, Bandito with the mask, and Bandito defeated Chris Jericho by pinfall to win the ROH World Championship. Then we had a TNT Championship match. We had a single match for the AEW TNT Championship. This match had no time limit and outside interference was strictly prohibited. Adam Cole defeated Daniel Garcia by pinfall to win the TNT Championship, and he's our new TNT Champion, Adam Cole. Boom! Then we had a third match for the AEW International Championship, where Kenny Omega defeated Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey by pinfall to retain the AEW International Championship. Then we had a single match for the AEW World Trios Championship, where Jon Moxley with Mariah Shafir defeated Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana by pinfall. And how Swerve Strickland lost is that the Young Bucks came out and attacked Swerve and made Jon Moxley retain, and Jon Moxley went to cover 1, 2, 3, and they all standing tall with Jon Moxley standing tall and leaving the ring. So that's going to be it here for Wonderful World of Wrestling Wednesdays, the John Squad. Once again, the John Squad. Please like this video, leave your comments down below, and subscribe for more. You're all the best, John Squad. You're all one of a kind of each and every single life. Peace out, the John Squad, and God bless. You mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Peace. Love you guys. You just gotta subscribe. That's all you gotta do. And I'll see you on next Wednesday for Wonderful Wrestling Wednesdays. Gotta keep subscribing.